Hi, welcome to my latest YouTube video. This week we're doing a recap of my family's recent trip to Juneau, Alaska. This was by far our favorite port stop on our cruise. We had a fantastic time doing some whale watching and also going out to the Mendenhall Glacier and Nugget Falls. The majority of this video is in 360 format, so please remember you can grab your mouse, you can scroll around and look around, which should be fantastic for this video as there's plenty to see all the way around. When we were out there whale watching, there were things happening on both sides of us. And then out at the Mendenhall Glacier, everywhere you look is just majestic and beautiful. So without much ado, enjoy. All right, so here we are getting off of the Grand Princess dockside. We didn't have any trouble, but if you had mobility issues, the ramp from the ship down to the dock was very, very steep and very, very long. I was left wondering what the process would be for people with mobility issues. Other than that, really nice pier area. First we walked up here and we weren't quite sure. We're used to there being tour guides and people selling tours, but it wasn't very evident that there was anything close by except for this little booth to the right. So we went up to the booth and we asked him about tours. The only real information he seemed to have was information about the cable car, and it was, as you can see, pretty dreary, rainy, foggy. We didn't think that the cable car was going to be a great option as the visibility was very limited, especially if you looked up towards the top of the mountain right there. The fog was covering most of the mountain, so we decided to walk along the pier here and see what else we could find along the way. Nice view of the ship on the left. This was our first time traveling on Princess cruises. We had always cruised on Royal Caribbean previously, but our travel agent told us that Princess was the way to go for Alaska, and I think she was right. The ability for the ship to go into Glacier Bay and College Fjord was a fantastic option, really added to our trip. So I think she was right. For Princess overall, I wasn't super enthused with the cruise line. Coming from Royal Caribbean, I really enjoyed the entertainment on Royal Caribbean, and that was severely lacking on Princess. We were somewhat disappointed with the crew as well. Many of them didn't seem to exude a feeling like they wanted to actually be there and serve guests. The crew seemed very unhappy to us. We're used to a lot of friendly interactions with the crew, and we just didn't get a whole lot of that on Grand Princess. So it may have been a one-off. I'd like to give them another shot in the future, but that's just the feeling we came away with. Didn't dampen our vacation at all, though. We had a fantastic time. Here's a couple of nice yachts down to the left.
Ovation is going to be important today with us and Norwegian local.
Nice little boardwalk area to walk along. Too bad it was raining, although we really lucked out with weather. This was the only day that it rained, and even then the rain cleared up around.
You guys aren't sold on Princess?
10:30. Up ahead, closer to the area where the cable cars load up, we did end up finding some tour booths and did end up booking a tour. It was a combo tour, both whale watching and Mendenhall Glacier transfer. Here we jumped to us boarding the whale watching boat. We're just walking down the pier to the boat. This ramp was really long and really steep as well. We hit Juneau at low tide, so it was definitely steeper than normal. But again, with the mobility issues, I'm not sure how people would navigate that. As I mentioned in previous videos, the excursions and food and souvenirs in Alaska are very expensive. For us, a family of four, this whale watching excursion was right around $850 for the four of us. But that was for the combo tour, the whale watching, and the Mendenhall Glacier transfer.
How's everyone doing?
It was nice. This sheltered area kept you warm. It wasn't all that cold this day, but if it had been, I'm sure there would have been many more of us hunkering down inside this cabin until we get out to where we wanted to go.
Awesome.
Here we are underway on our way out to Auke Bay. We had really good captain and crew members on this boat. Very interesting to listen to, very helpful with any questions that we had. And here we are out at the first area. Be quiet so you can hear if anything's sighted. You'll see everybody pointing and yelling.
So we got them for nothing. I don't like binoculars, I told you that.
And these people told me they were just on another whale slightly north that was heading this way. So hopefully in a few minutes we'll try to get both of them.
There's one. 6 o'clock. I just saw a blow.
Oh.
So at this point, the captain told us that she had been talking to other captains in the area and that there was way more activity in another spot. So she told us all to hunker down and we would move to a second spot to see if we had any more luck. At that previous spot, we were really only seeing the occasional spout and small amounts of tail sticking out of the water, not a whole lot to see at that previous spot. So let me tell you, it was pretty darn cold up there on top of the boat. I chose not to go down below, but once the boat got moving up to speed, it was pretty darn cold. I just couldn't bring myself to go down below, given the beautiful scenery that we were going by. So once we got to this second spot, we hit pay dirt for sure. There is a mom humpback whale and a baby humpback whale playing all around the boat. And eventually the mother leaves the area and the baby stays behind, and the baby just jumps and plays and jumps and flips endlessly. I'll be quiet so you can follow the video and watch it. It was magical.
Yeah, because that boat. They need
Fantastic.
You got that one, didn't you?
That was great.
Feeling what?
Yo, Layla, yo.
Yeah, but I was on my
Layla.
I'll get a little tail on.
I didn't mean to just leave our conversation.
Oh, no, not at all.
Please breathe right here.
Turn on my side, say it.
Wow.
I got that on video. Did you?
Go the other way. Come back this way.
Come on, we're cheering for you.
Really nice. What time is it? 12:40. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Nice.
That's come on, baby. Okay.
Sure.
It's a good angle. See it.
A while. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
A little
Little slow roll.
and we've been there for like an hour or two. Okay. And they still like kind of know where each other are at, but the mom's just eating right now, and the baby. Yeah. I think probably this baby jumping around and stuff like the mom's getting there.
Whoa, you hear it trumpeting?
Yeah.
Because this guy's still nursing, so.
Or is that one of
he
you?
has to,
Ah.
pretty baby.
Do the humpbacks do the classic like whale song?
Yeah, if you were underwater right now, you could hear them singing
Okay.
to each other. It also is very cool.
Little baby head.
Yeah, a little. What's the water temperature?
About 40 degrees.
40. Yeah. Cold enough.
But yeah, we actually, I think, ordered some mics like to drop down into the water and then
Play it over
but
that.
they're not here yet.
Oh, nice. What a great experience that was. I had previously been on whale watching excursions in New England, having grown up in Massachusetts. But one, they could never guarantee that you would see a whale, which they did on this excursion. And two, you might see a whale every hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe not at all. In this case, seeing whales over and over and that baby jumping over and over again was just a magical experience. That excursion was well worth the money. From there, we got off of the boat. We climbed back up the ramp to the pier, and we boarded a bus that took us to the Mendenhall Glacier State Park. It's about a 20-minute drive. Very interesting along the way. We saw bald eagles, various animals that the bus driver pointed out on the way, as well as landmarks in the Juneau area. So very good bus ride to Glacier Bay. And from that point on, we had free time to do whatever we wanted, to go to the visitor center, to go see the glacier, to go to Nugget Falls. So we took full advantage of that. We didn't have to be back onto the ship until later in the evening, and they let us know what the latest bus we could grab was. So we managed our time accordingly to make sure we'd get back on the bus and back to the cruise ship in time. But we had plenty of time to go and look around in Mendenhall Glacier State Park. I would guess if you went and looked at pretty much everything that we looked at, you'd probably want to take about 2 hours to do that. This was another great experience. So let's go ahead and roll the tape. Here we are at Mendenhall Glacier State Park. This is a nice little viewing area that is right down a couple of flights of stairs from the bus stop where we got dropped off. You can see Mendenhall Glacier in the distance, and then Mendenhall Lake underneath.
Is this where we're going? Yeah. I am.
Oh, he's on speakerphone. Where are we going?
Yeah. You can hear all of his work instructions. Why did I bring my walking stick? There's steps down here, aren't there?
Then this is a little access trail you can walk down. There's steps along the way, but a fairly easy walk down to the beach area.
Hang out with me and keep me from tumbling. Yeah, I've noticed. That's right, you'll be in my wheel. The other two can skip. Maybe he's the only one that wants to keep Dory safe. Hey, you. What's down here, Amy?
Music video. It just goes down to a creek. We don't go.
I want to swim.
Ooh.
Is that what they are? Hey, over here, Ian.
We can go this way too. You're torn. You're gonna tumble.
Yeah, probably.
And run into all the trees. Go swim up there to that chunk of ice. It's everywhere.
Can we swim?
It's a rocky beach with really nice views of the glacier
That's the water.
and the lake.
That's good. I'm gonna kick you in the butt.
Pretty cold.
Is it ice cold?
There's ice right here.
These ice chunks will break off of the glacier,
Are you guys gonna
and then I guess they will flip over upside down, revealing the rocky underside where it's ground away at the mountain. And then they'll float downstream and slowly melt.
There's a bunch over there.
Then from the beach, you can walk up a easy trail up to the visitor center. This is more easily accessed from the parking lot. We came up from the beach. There is an elevator up from the ground level. I chose to take the stairs instead.
The front door's that way.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Really nice visitor center. Lots of information about the glacier, how it formed, how it moves. There's a movie up here which I didn't stop and watch, but I've heard other people say that the movie is really good. Nice lookout area. I got a chuckle that there were so many people sitting here on this ledge. Beautiful views behind them, but they're sitting there playing on their phones instead. I always find that funny. Got a telescope off to my right. You can take closer peeks. There were several of these telescopes around the visitor center. I suppose they're spotting scopes, not telescopes. Then down below the visitor center, there's a nice paved walkway out to another prime lookout spot. Kind of a busy, crowded area, but obviously a beautiful lookout spot perched with a little elevation above the lake.
Now we just need your Mulan in the dust. Everybody's not playing on Facebook right now.
Watch out for those people taking pictures.
From there, we headed down the trail towards Nugget Falls. This path is primarily paved. Here you can see we're on a little boardwalk area. It does eventually go to gravel, though, towards the end of the trail.
It's pretty neat.
But it's a fairly easy walk. There are a couple of spots where you can walk down to the beach. Those are a little more precarious of a walk, but if you stay on the main trail, it's a pretty easy walk. There were even people with strollers. It's about a 2-mile round-trip walk, but I found it very interesting. All the different types of vegetation, quite a few little streams coming in from the right, tumbling down the hill. And the payoff at the end is amazing.
Little brook. Babbling
Here
brook.
it is. Nugget Falls, right?
I think he was making fun of us. That's the way it seemed to me.
This is the waterfall.
It wasn't so bad. Ooh. Humans so fascinated with water moving over them.
Here's one of those little side trails you can take just shy of Nugget Falls. This is just a little rocky outcropping where you can walk out and view the falls from a little ways away.
Guys, come on. Where's whatever your names are. I have her location. She's probably down there. Let's go. I don't know.
This part of the walk is a little more precarious, especially for me. Sometimes I miss rocks that are sticking up, so I've got to be fairly careful. You might have some trouble rolling a stroller down here. I was surprised to see so many people with strollers, but it's definitely worth the walk down to the beach.
Pretty good. It's just bumpy. It's not straight. But there's a drop off right there. And that's it. And then it's a little rocky.
Hey,
Just go straight.
how you guys doing?
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
You made it.
How are you?
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. Actually, gorgeous.
Yeah.
That was a couple that we had shared a dinner table with a couple of nights before. Good people.
Come in.
Wow. That's cool.
As we got closer and closer to the actual falls, the amount of air that is rushing down, being pushed forward by the water, is quite amazing. And then it mixes with spray, so we were getting a little wet.
I've never seen a waterfall that plays out like that.
was about an hour's worth of video here that I had to cut out to kind of get this video down to a decent size. If you're interested in that video, my plan is to take all of that and post it on a sub channel of this. I'd like to call it Cruising Out of Sight 360 Uncut. So if you have VR goggles and you'd like to see some of that, or even if you just like to see it without the VR goggles, I'd like to post that without me rambling on and on. So take a look for that. Cruising Out of Sight 360 Uncut. What a fantastic time we had at Nugget Falls. From there, we walked back on the trail back to the bus stop, grabbed the bus back into Juneau, and did a little bit of shopping. We had done a little bit of browsing after buying our tickets, but before getting on the whale watching bus, we had picked out quite a few different items at some of the stores there in downtown Juneau. They had two options when they dropped us off on the bus. Either you could get dropped off in the shopping district, which was a little further uptown than we got dropped off at, closer to the pier. So they dropped us off almost right where the stores were that we had picked out the items. So we popped into those stores and picked out the things we had wanted before we took the excursions. They had some really, really neat stuff at these stores. It was probably the best shopping selection that we had seen on any of the stops that we had been to. So grabbed our things, got back onto the ship, and had a really nice sail away after that, which I didn't capture any video of. But all in all, a fantastic day in Juneau. I would definitely go back. There were a few things that I'd like to see that we didn't see. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, please slap a like on there. Would love any comments you have as well. Any questions about our time in Juneau? Would really love those comments.